to raise my hands every time that I say that, but I want to say hey to everybody on YouTube and on Google Hangouts. I am at Doc Foreman, suicide prevention, social media chat moderator, in general do-gooder and troublemaker. Right? And I'm here to talk about hashtag Way Forward and the Way Forward initiative with two very wonderful people. Folks, many of you have met Dese'Rae Stage if you've been following. We also have Leah Harris, and I'm going to have them introduce themselves and watch me, like a grown-up, switch the camera.
Who goes first? I don't know what's happening.
You go first. Dese'Rae, you're on. So Dese'Rae,
okay.
Introduce yourself.
I'm Dese'Rae Stage. I'm a photographer and writer in Brooklyn, and I'm the founder of the Live Through This project. It lives at livethroughthis.org. It is essentially a lost my words. It's a series of portraits of suicide attempt survivors across the country. That's what I got.
And if you want to know more about Dese'Rae Stage, folks, you're going to just read all about her in the New York Times, or you're going to go to livethroughthis.org and look at her beautiful work, and you're going to learn lots more about Dese'Rae Stage than you ever wanted to know, much like me.
True.
You can never know too much.
I'm going to go ahead and switch to Leah. And Leah, I keep messing up your name.
Oh, no, you got it perfect.
Ah! Wonderful. So, Leah, tell us a little bit about yourself and a little bit about your connection with Way Forward.
So, yes, I'm Leah Harris, and I don't have the cool lower thirds like my compadres here, but Leah Harris at LEAHIDA. So please connect with me. I have been someone who has been involved in various ways in suicide prevention for longer than I really want to talk about, but I'm very excited about this, the Way Forward report. I was part of the, this gets really long, but the Action Alliance for Suicide Prevention, correct me if I mess this up, Attempt Survivor Task Force. So I've been a part of that task force, which is all people with lived experience, suicide attempt survivors who are coming together to say, what are our recommendations for fixing this system, for changing the way we do things, the way we address suicide and how we respond to people who are suicidal. So really this report is based on all of our experiences and the experiences of so many people we know, and what we know helps and what we know, doesn't help so much. So we're focusing on our own lived experience.
Look, I'm switching the camera again like a grown-up. And so, we're here today to talk a little bit about Way Forward, but if you really want to know more about the initiative specifically, we had Eduardo Vega at SPSM chat last week. That's been curated and storified, and that's all over the place, hashtag SPSM and hashtag Way Forward. Additionally, this week, many people who are attempt survivors also produced wonderful video content. We'll be rolling that out on Twitter, and you can see it on YouTube. This is crazy things that people have done to explain how suicide attempt survivors really want to be at the table when it comes to making decisions about the healthcare system and how it's going to meet their needs. Did I get that right, folks?
Definitely.
So we're continually experimenting here at the SPSM sort of home base for projects, and my cat has joined me, and she hates all people. She must like you guys. And so we're going to be trying, if my cat doesn't ruin it, we're going to be trying a new format. We've got something called the Bowl of Interesting Questions for our guests. Maybe it'll be about suicide. Maybe it won't. A little anxiety?
Nah.
No, I'm at peace. I'm at peace right now. Thank you. Please, go ahead.
So we're gonna. I don't know what question's coming next. So we're gonna pick a question out of the bowl, and then I'm gonna let you guys riff. So favorite song to karaoke to?
Oh. Rehab, Amy Winehouse.
Amy Winehouse? That's not a song.
What? Any Amy Winehouse?
Yeah.
Rehab. Oh, you guys didn't hear me? I said rehab.
Oh, no, no, no.
I'm Missy Elliott's Work It. Or Eminem.
Or I Will Survive.
Like, that is, like, really, like, noble of you. Because I'm all, like, Proud Mary. Because
I don't
it's
karaoke. I just rapioke.
Do you like rap Eminem?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like give me some.
No, I don't remember the lines now. I gotta be looking at him. I gotta be in the mood. I gotta be drunk.
So this is like Eminem is like a state of mind.
Yes.
I'm so old. Like the last thing I'm like, oh, I'm the Slim Shady something. The others are imitating.
Like
Yeah.
Up.
That's like Eminem from 2000, 2001.
That's the last time I was cool, Dese'Rae.
Well.
Ah!
We all have our time periods that stand out.
True.
What was your time period, Leah?
Oh, definitely the early 90s. I mean, that really shows you how old I am. But yeah.
Oh, come on.
I remember the
Bangs?
whole grunge exploding onto the scene, and people started wearing flannel shirts that no one but lumberjacks had worn. It was a good time.
Leah, that sounds like Brooklyn right now. I'm just gonna throw that out there for you.
Yeah, I mean, this was like before Brooklyn. Before Brooklyn was Brooklyn.
All right. I'm just saying, you're still relevant. You're still there.
I tried.
That's so generous. Okay, so here's the thing that I don't get. This is clearly my limitation. What is up with buttoning things all the way up to like strangulation level?
Don't know.
The button.
Dese'Rae, I'll let you take that one.
What?
I said, Dese'Rae, I'll let you take that one. You can riff off of that.
I have no idea. I don't understand it. I am usually as naked as I possibly can be. So
Really?
I mean, look what I'm wearing. Especially in the summer. I can't.
Can't.
I'm watching like all this stuff. It's on the TVs. You see it in the fashion magazines. It's sort of like everybody, and I'm like, doesn't your neck get sore?
Yeah, it just
Like
looks.
tape.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Can't deal with that.
Golden. You don't know what's coming.
But I think it's time to move on, definitely.
This could be a softball. It could be really intense. You don't know. How appropriate do you think I'm going to be? That's the question you got to ask yourself. All right. Oh, what do you think about the S-Word trailer? How many of you guys saw the S-Word trailer?
Definitely saw it. You want to go first, Leah? I don't know.
I mean, yeah, I really think she did an amazing job of really portraying the humanity of all of us. You know, I mean, a lot of times it's been focused on, and this is very important, but people who've lost loved ones, but we kind of haven't been involved in the picture as people who themselves have been through these experiences. And I feel like she really did a great job of humanizing us and showing that actually, yeah, we can move through these experiences and have, you know, a full life. And you know, so I'm excited. I think she gave us a little taste of that.
Yeah. I loved it. I feel like she was really collaborative on it with us, and really open to the experiences of attempt survivors, because she does come from that lost survivor perspective, and I like that she just kind of welcomed us in and said, hey, I want to tell the world about your experiences too, and I really care about what you have to say, and I want to bring it to a bigger platform.
Definitely.
Yeah, my feeling was consistently that Lisa really actually cared about us. Like, she made our pictures look good. Like, I mean, I was like looking at the film and I thought, oh my gosh, that looks and sounds like us. And a caring touch is what she really had.
And I'm really glad she includes the social action, social justice perspective, you know, because that's a lot of times missing from the conversation. And we do see ourselves as a civil rights movement. It's not, you know, like a medical or health issue alone. So just saying.
Say more about that, because I think people don't realize that it's not just that suicide attempt survivors have mental health needs. There are all these other things, like how they get treated, how the healthcare system handles them. Can you say more about that?
Well, yeah, I mean, I think any healthcare system is a reflection of the society that it's located within, you know? So our society is filled with silence, being afraid to talk about it, stigma, discrimination, you know, marginalization, all of this stuff exists in the healthcare system. So, you know, we have to really look and see that this is a societal issue, not just, oh, these people have a mental health issue, because we need to all really understand that it's about taking collective responsibility for the fact, you know, that tens of thousands of people are dying by suicide every year in our country, a lot of them who are already receiving mental health treatment. So we have to see that this is much broader than mental health, and that's the civil rights perspective, that, you know, really understanding that, you know, we are not alone, that this is so common, and that, you know, we have a voice and we have something to say about what's going on in suicide prevention. So I'm really thrilled that that perspective is in there.
Yes.
I felt like you were going to speak, Dese'Rae, so the camera went. I'm sorry.
I just agreed.
Nothing to add.
Like, you know, as a clinician, so from my perspective as someone who helps, like, the issue is, and I watch this all the time, so not only how my end of things work, but how it works for other people. Like, when someone says they're suicidal, unless it's like one of my clinicians who does this all the time, so it's like me or a couple of the people I work with who this is all they do, like, this is the look on the clinician's face. It's like Home Alone. Right? And they don't know what to do, and they panic, and so they either want the patient, like, to shut up. You're not really suicidal. We're kind of, you got your safety plan right, so we can go home because I got to end on time.
Yeah, can you sign this thing? Just sign this thing.
Sign this safety contract right here.
Right.
Okay, so you won't call the cops on me. I'll tell you whatever you want to hear. Bye.
Right. Right. And then it's like, you know, and I mean, some of it's not just the clinicians. I mean, they don't train us well. And, they, you know, all mental health things now have like these 50-minute, 45-minute slots. Right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know anyone who has a problem that we're talking about happens on schedule.
Yeah.
And suicide does not work like that at all. So, like, some of my people really only want to talk 25 minutes, and some people need 2 hours. And I don't always know, like, what amount of time and resources is going to get done. But most of the time, going to the hospital is not the best idea, and won't help at all, unless someone's really out of control right that minute. It's probably not going to make them better. But, like, I have to worry about, am I going to lose my license? Is the family going to sue me? Am I going to be able to get done in 50 minutes? And then how do I treat you? If that's what's on my mind, how do I treat you?
Right.
I want that to be different.
Oh, it will. It will
I
be
like you.
Leah intends on saving the world.
If I have anything to do with it, I know we're all in this together.
All right, bowl of interesting questions. We don't know what's going to happen. This could be really personal, because the suicide stuff's not that personal, right?
Definitely not.
No.
So this is a question that I really wanted you guys to answer for my personal needs, and it says, what is it like when you mix it up with clinicians and researchers on SPSM chat? So for those of you who are watching who aren't familiar, SPSM chat is a suicide prevention social media chat, Sundays, 9 p.m. Central, and we really attract a broad audience. So when we have people who are suicide attempt survivors talking with clinicians, the clinicians are all like talking about what's it like when patients are there. They're freaking out. Like, what's it like for y'all?
You go.
I really welcome the opportunity to school them. No, I mean, seriously, I mean, this is the voice that has been missing from suicide prevention, okay? And I have seen it. Mm-hmm. I've seen it be missing, and it makes suicide prevention meetings really boring. So another function we have is to definitely liven things up and just bring that human perspective, and also, I mean, what other field doesn't consult the people that are affected by it? You know what I mean? It seems to me like a no-brainer. So I have found a very welcoming environment, you know, to really, yeah, we care about what you have to say. We value you. You're not a token, you know, and that has been really healing for me because I've definitely held a grudge against some clinicians in my life that really treated me with disrespect, and just to realize, like, hey, you know, it's not an us versus them. And if we really want to change things, we need to all work together and collaborate together. So I'm thankful for the understanding and the respect and that real spirit of collaboration, because otherwise, you know, it's just going to be the same old, same old.
Yeah. At first, I was really intimidated by it, but then I got over that. I just decided to be me and show up and talk, and usually I'm cracking inane jokes while I'm there, but you know, it's fun for me. I don't know. It's what I just have to be me.
Yeah, and I like it like that. The issue is, of course, our temp survivors bring bigger audiences. They're more interesting to listen to. They're more likely to be like internet appropriate. So if there's going to be a joke or a meme or something engaging, they're going to do it. Like the clinicians and the researchers, and I don't know, it's something about how we've gone to school or something, like where we've learned to suck the life out of conversations. Right? Have you noticed this?
I'm choking on your jargon. Your acronyms hurt me.
Oh, the acronyms. I'm so
the acronyms.
sick of acronyms.
We love you guys. We're not trying to rip on you. We love you. But there's a need. There really is a need to just like, let's bring it all down to earth, folks. Like, I know there's a really important purpose for everything that everyone's doing, but you know that there's really a need to like translate a lot of this stuff, you know, for broader consumption. You know, because there are some amazing, really innovative ideas out there that are sort of not being heard like they could be.
Mm-hmm. Yes, but when like everything was getting really abbreviated last week on the chat, and I'm like, if somebody reads this, they won't know what we mean.
Mm-hmm.
If they don't know what we mean, it doesn't matter if our idea is any good.
Yep.
Right, because it's like, I'm preaching to the choir. We all already know and agree with each other. No.
Yeah, this is for the not choir.
Yeah.
Right.
And so Dese'Rae is a person who's like showed up to these chats who actually has media experience, can use these tools. Like, what's it like? Have you noticed the clinicians start to be doctory and clinician-y towards people on the chat?
Sometimes, but not that often. I think I just have a habit of moving on if they get a little too intense with their clinicianese. I just talk to someone else. But no, I don't think it happens all that often.
I mean, honestly, like from the outside, I mean, I guess maybe, but you really wouldn't be able to tell if you jumped in the middle who's a survivor, who's a clinician. I mean, it's like half the clinicians are survivors and half of them aren't talking about it, and you know what I mean? So it's sort of like feels like a very egalitarian environment. I don't ever feel like anyone's trying to analyze me, or I just don't ever get that vibe from it. It's just all very collaborative.
Yeah, I mean, there are even inside jokes. There's a lot. It does feel very egalitarian, though.
Yeah.
I've really worked hard for that. I will say this, like, there's a lot of behind-the-scenes messaging where someone's frightened because someone's talking about, well, I had suicidal feelings this week. Well, I'm like, well, if they can't say that here and us not lose our shit, where can they say that? Because that's fine. They're fine. They're safe. I trust them. I really do, and I really do trust our chat participants, and they take care of themselves. So, like, I actually got a direct message during this last week's chat from someone in the Twitterverse from another chat where she said, well, someone in her feed, so this didn't happen in SPSM, someone from her feed followed her, and so then she looked at their tweets, and then she said, well, they say things that sound sort of suicidal, you know, and they were pretty vague. And she's like, what do I have to do now? And I said, well, you have a media relationship with these folks. You don't have a clinical relationship with these folks. So and beyond the duties, like if you see imminent harm and you're just a decent good Samaritan, beyond those duties, you don't have to like dive in after people. They're just showing up to be the same as you.
I worry about the people who aren't tweeting about it. To be honest, those are the ones I worry about. I mean, if you have the courage to put it out there, I mean, not that you know, of course we should respond and be compassionate, but if you have the courage to put it out there and you're talking about it, that's healthy. You know, I knew I was in a really bad place when I was just completely shut down and not telling anyone in any way. So that's, I mean, that's just me, and it's not one size fits all, but, you know, just to recognize, like, applaud that person for their bravery, their courage, you know, to be honest about it. And we don't need to react from fear. We can react from, this person's being really brave right now, and is there anything, any support that you need?
Yeah, but we have a problem with people who overshare, you know.
But is that big of a problem?
I don't think so. I love it. You're both oversharers. So am I.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was the tweet or the text message. Ladies and gentlemen, this just involves all sorts of underwear armature and me trying to make a dress work. That's all I'm saying. It was difficult, but I figured the engineering out, and I want to thank the guy at Texas A&M who invented the particular item that worked for me. Engineering. Is that? See, there was the line, and I was sort of around it.
I mean, I love it. I love the oversharing. I'm really into it. But I know that I have been criticized for it heavily, and I think that a lot of people, when they see us talking about things like this, that's what they're thinking, that we're oversharing, that we shouldn't be talking about this stuff. And it's just like, no, I'm just being honest, you know, and that's all right too.
Well, you know, it's threatening because we've had this atmosphere of silence, and we don't talk about it. And if we do talk about it, oh Lord, people freak out, right? And like, I'm all about, let's just let it out there. You know, I mean, it's the fear that I feel is really at the root of the problem. And, you know, and it's like, if somebody's talking about it and we're afraid, we need to look at ourselves. If we have that panic reaction, and yes, it's scary, but, you know, at the same time, like, we have to understand that unless we are able to deal with our fear and sit with our discomfort, ourselves and others, we're not going to ever budge the silence, you know, and it's hard. I mean, I'm not saying it's like, oh, this is so simple and, you know, but yeah, I just, you know, I feel like that's really the task that we all have as friends, as community members, as clinicians. You know, we all share that task as to how can we respond not from a place of fear, but from understanding, compassion, and then having actual helpful support to offer.
And can we just be normal?
Let's just be authentic. Be authentic. Let's be honest. You know,
Yes.
Be real. You know, it's like that was always so helpful for me when people kind of broke down those boundaries of, you know, this is how I must behave in this situation, you know. Thank you.
And that is why the meetings are boring, Leah.
You can only look at so many pie charts and graphs.
So this is another one that I've wondered about. Can you tell me about one moment when you felt really included in suicide prevention work?
Whew. The panel, the attempt survivor panel at AAS. The room was full of clinicians and other attempt survivors, and it was packed. And we all spoke, and it was like a rock concert. I remember coming home and showing my girlfriend the video, and she was like, "Where do these people think they are? They're at a conference. They all look very, it seems like they're confused." So there was hooting and hollering.
They're like way too happy.
It was so awesome.
What was that feeling like when you think about that feeling versus like your worst feeling? Like when you're sick and scared and people are treating you like, you know, weird.
Yeah, I mean, well, that's kind of a high because, I mean, in terms of my story, I can be bad at talking about when I'm feeling down, but in terms of like the way my life has moved, I tried to do this in academia, and then I got to AAS, and I was really intimidated thinking these people are not going to take me seriously. And then they really did. And I think that was even more fulfilling than it would, I don't know, it was great. Oh, she's going to cry.
No, I'm not. This eyeliner stays put.
I hope you did waterproof. We're talking about being human.
Guys.
Well, you know, makeup, this is just Hollywood, you know, stunt makeup.
Let me talk to you about tattooing your eyeliner on.
There is a Groupon. I saw a Groupon for that.
Oh,
like
no.
a coupon, like for like $100-something bucks.
No. Don't do that. Tattoo it on, but pay the price. Both financially and painfully.
I have a tattoo.
It's not on your eye.
No.
Wait, do I get to answer that question?
Yes.
Sorry, I didn't want to interrupt what you all had, that dialogue you had going on.
Tell me about when you felt really included.
Dude, it was like yesterday. I mean, seriously. Not metaphorically like yesterday, but actually yesterday. And that's not the first time, though. But yeah, there's an initiative called Zero Suicide that is, has kind of come out of the clinical world. And I was invited to be a faculty, they call me a faculty member, and to really, again, school clinicians on the importance of including our perspectives, people who've lived through these experiences, in every single aspect of what you do if you're really looking to get to that goal of having zero suicide. And, just to, be up there and talking to them and feel like I have something of value and something to offer, where, if I, go back 20 years in my life, I felt like I had absolutely nothing to offer to anybody at all, let alone to be, now where I'm in front of this room talking to all these people. So, yeah, it was a huge honor, and yeah, so I'm thankful for that. I mean, I really see the change. I mean, even in the 13 years that I've been doing this, I see that shift from, like, the voice not even being on the radar to, like, up in front of the room, so it's a big deal.
God, and just
not just for me, for all of us. I mean, for all of us who, want to be involved, like, right in the middle and not on the edges of things.
You were going to say something, Dese'Rae?
I was just saying, just in the past 4 years since I've been doing it, that the change has been astronomical. So I can't even imagine having an extra 9 years. I don't even, there was nobody talking it 4 years ago, so I can't imagine.
Yeah, and I mean, I had a job in the suicide prevention field in, like, 2008, and yeah, no. Like, lots of good intentions, but it sort of never translated into anything. So, I mean, yeah, it's phenomenal. It's almost like the, paradigm shift, like we kind of reached that critical mass to where it's like now has a momentum of its own, and it doesn't feel quite as much like trying to move a mountain as it used to be. Just like moving a very large hill. Like moving a mesa or something. Yeah.
What was it like to feel like you really needed to talk about this, and it was not going to be okay? Like, not during the problem, but after the problem, to change, I really need to do something about this, but it's not going to be okay if I say so.
Yeah, I just quit my job and got a job where it was okay if I said whatever I wanted. So, but I'm glad I was able to then come back to the field.
What? Tell that story.
I mean, yeah, I felt like, I was hired for my lived experience, but I never was consulted about it or asked about it, or it's sort of irrelevant in the day-to-day, and I quit because I wanted to be able, that this is my background is in, like, Middle East diplomacy, like, so I bring my lived experience, and yeah, doing that in some ways is easier, but yeah, no, I if I don't have this to offer, and this is not what I'm being, I'm not being called upon to use that, then anybody can do that, and let them do that. So I took a job where my lived experience was the reason I was hired, and I use it every single day, because that's what I have to give. I don't have a PhD or MSW or any of those letters. I just have my life.
Time out. There's audience questions, right, Dese'Rae?
Okay. Yes.
Sure. Full of interesting questions. We're getting there. Check this out.
I'll be right back. Leah, you answer first.
Come back soon.
So, guess who met Carol Walker?
Okay, Leah, you're gonna love this question. What is your favorite way forward recommendation?
Ah, that's so easy. So I'm staring at a blank wall right now. So yeah, no, my favorite way forward recommendation is really that we need alternatives to inpatient hospitalization for the people, that who want support but do not want to have their liberty taken away or sort of be an inpatient. And if people do want to be able to be inpatient, I support them having that right. But we really need another way between just kind of hanging out at home and, being hospitalized. So we're really talking about things like crisis respites, alternative ways where you're still in the community, you're getting round-the-clock support from people who've been through those experiences. So many crisis respites involve, people who identify as peers or people with lived experience who are helping to provide the support. We need those kind of options, those alternatives. I always think of it as like a third way between, inpatient and basically nothing, and I know that those do exist, but we don't have nearly enough of those options in our communities. And so, to me, I feel like that is really, at the crux of it, that we need to have more choices, more options.
Yeah, you can get, like right now, for most people, the choice is a pre-scheduled, time-limited chunk of, time with the shrink that's going to happen every week or 2 weeks, or lock you up.
Yeah. And believe me, yeah, exactly. Go ahead. I was just going to say really quick, if I get in a car accident, I want to go to the emergency room, but if I'm suicidal and I'm struggling, it's not a happy place, nor is it
the last place you want to go.
Yeah. So sorry, go ahead, April.
Oh, no, I was just saying, like, really, truly, so one of the things that I get to do as part of my job is I get to keep my schedule really loose. I don't have any trouble finding that there are, veterans who want to come in and talk at hours they couldn't predict 2 days ago. So then they say, I suddenly got overwhelmed and I need to come talk to you today. And then they come to my office, and there's a way of managing the clinic and a way of managing my time on the schedule where I can get to everybody who shows up usually within an hour.
Wow.
Reasonable. But it's reasonable for someone with intense emotional pain.
Mm-hmm.
And occasionally, an hour, you can't even wait, and then we've got other things, and I can get them to a hospital. Like, I can step up the care. But it's not bad to have like a sort of a mental health urgent care.
It's really not.
And what you describe, April, is really, in my view, pretty unusual.
Yes, yeah.
Even like just over the past couple of days, I heard people talking about, folks who are brave enough and, just who got up the energy and the courage to call and say, I'm feeling suicidal, and the answer is, oh, someone will call you back. And then who knows when and if, or, and it's like that choices, that flexibility, that accessibility, which is so hard. You have to be, actively suicidal or actively wanting to hurt someone else to get help in this country.
Oh, yeah.
For the most part. And that's just absolutely, like, unacceptable. Like, none of us should put up with that.
And let me tell you a little secret, Leah. A little secrety secret. So, like, if someone has Medicare, Medicaid, right, and they come see me in crisis, now now I work for the VA, but I worked in community mental health, and they see me for crisis, do you know I can bill, like, at 150% of my regular rate? Like, I actually can get reimbursed at higher rates, and even the follow-up sessions in the next few days are reimbursed higher. So it's not as if there isn't a way in the system to pay for it and a way to make it, like, profitable and sustainable fiscally. Clinics just don't set it up. That's my little...
Oy, the broken system.
So, Dese'Rae, we were talking about, like, what your favorite way forward recommendation is, and what you think, like, what's your favorite thing, or the thing you think, if we included suicide attempt survivors and in suicide prevention work, what is your targeted, like, we need to do this?
That's hard. There are so many of them that all of them are really valuable.
Pick 14.
Peer support.
Peer support. Yes, whisper at me. I don't know. I was going to say I really think that just being included in
I don't know why I'm going like this.
But peer support is really big. Thanks, Leah.
Talk a little bit more about peer support, because you know what all the shrinks and the administrators are afraid of, which is if you get a bunch of people who've tried to kill themselves in a room, they'll go crazy and all die.
Yes, it's
That's
all
like,
about. I mean, I only ever talk to Leah about how I want to slit my wrists, so that's all we talk about.
people
Actually,
in that land. That's a joke, and you can laugh.
yes. Don't laugh at suicide jokes ever, never.
Sometimes you just have to like make inappropriate jokes, just to kind of, just coping skill. Yeah.
Gotta have a sense of humor. I think the peer support is really important. Building trainings around peer support. Accessibility. A lot of the trainings are really not accessible either to the clinicians or to your lay person. And I think that how are we ever going to get anything done if we can't give people the basic knowledge that they need to move on in their lives and to help the people around them? So peer support is huge, and Leah and I have been doing a lot of talking about trying to build something that is accessible and both financially and person to person.
I have to really agree with you there. I was very, very lucky. In rural Kansas, we did have some peer support workers who were great. Still keep relationships with them, keep in touch. And they would come with some of my patients who were chronically suicidal. They would come with them to group. They would help them no, you really got to take your medication. I know you hate it. We'll get it right. You got to listen to your therapy. They would do a lot of all that coaching. So someone would come to the session. We would do all the therapy, but then your time with me is in a box. And then there was all the how do I apply it? How do I make it work? Do people really get the way that I think about this or the way I live my life? And this one, Denise, if you're out there, I love you. So she was like magic with my really chronically suicidal patients, because they trusted her.
Right.
Yeah, and the thing is, I think there's a lot of misunderstandings about what peer support is, and it's really just the idea that someone who's been through a similar experience is in a great position. Not that we all, again, there's never some one-size-fits-all approach to, healing and recovery, but, it's we're not subjected to the same kind of boundaries that other folks are. We can talk about our own experience. Mm-hmm. We can share our own emotions. We have the freedom to really be in a more sort of mutual, authentic, not that, other relationships aren't, but we really, just because we've been in there and we've been in that situation, there's a natural shared vulnerability that happens, and that is so healing for people. Mm-hmm. Because, for me, when I was suicidal, I felt like a freak. It was oh, you're mentally ill, and, you have all these disorders, and I just didn't feel, I just felt so sort of other, and so that experience of being with someone who isn't, says, no, we're in a tribe, you're in my tribe, that was just maybe I'm not broken, and that's huge, and I feel like that happens in other areas of healthcare. I had a breast cancer scare and everything's fine, but literally they were shoving peer support down my throat. They were this group, and this person's going to tell you how to navigate the system, and but when it comes to mental health, that's still not quite the way we do things. There's pockets that are going really well in different places around the country, but it should just be routine that a person has access to peer support if that's something they would find helpful.
Absolutely.
What you said. No, I mean it. That was awesome.
Thank you.
We're going to change opinions one person at a time.
Right, social change.
One person.
Whoa.
Whoa.
So, those interesting questions. Name one little-known fact about you.
What? I can play Black Sabbath's Iron Man on the piccolo. It's true.
That is so unfair that that's what you led with. How am I supposed to follow that
Wait, let me help you.
spontaneously? I have one.
Okay.
Not funny though. It's just a fact. But
Well, should I lower the bar for you?
no, I appreciate the standards of excellence that you set.
I was just gonna say a little known fact about me also is that I'm heavily tattooed. So.
That's. Thank you for sharing that obscure information. As I stall and I'm thinking of a little known fact about me. Okay, I got one. أنا أتكلم اللغة العربية.
Oh.
Arabic. So if there's any need for Arabic suicide prevention materials, I can probably help a little bit.
Can we have a more little known fact?
Even more little known?
Yeah, because I feel like I'm not surprised by that.
So Dese'Rae, to make this clear, like you started with the mushroom, like you just blew it up, and then you're like, Leah, your fact is not.
See, after I was already feeling really insecure about my little known fact,
She's like, I feel like I could guess
he
that.
just twisted it, you know? Like,
Empowered and then disempowered.
all right, okay. Let's just go back to the bowl.
Oh, come on! I have to know something I don't already know, damn it.
You already knew that?
You lived in...
I got nothing.
All right, fine. I didn't know.
Okay, let me get back to you all on that one.
So I'm going to do this just a little, and I have not thought this out ahead of time, so it may not be good. And I'm an oversharer, so there aren't very many little known facts about me.
I think that's part of my problem is I've like shared all the shit.
So every year I make a New Year's resolution, and I always make it so easy that I can get it done like the first week of the year, so I'm a success. And it usually involves like cooking dinner. Like it usually involves I'm going to make some food that I want to eat because I am not ambitious.
It's all about achievable goals.
Yeah.
In 1 week. Then I can
portions.
For 51 weeks. Like, did you accomplish your New Year's resolution?
Yeah, mine's done.
I just knocked it out.
Oh, little known fact kind of goes with the Arabic. I've studied belly dance.
Oh!
There you go.
You didn't know that, right?
Nope.
Okay, cool.
I feel like I'm not sexy enough for this crowd.
Seriously, I could never.
But you can't ask me to do that on this Google Hangout. I'm gonna draw the line there, but
I really feel like
at a conference, maybe at a conference, like after hours.
I mean, I don't have a piccolo with me, so I can't do it either, you know?
Now, if you had whipped one out of your boobs, not even shocked. I would have been like, of course she carries piccolo in her boobs.
I used to carry my piccolo in my back pocket. So.
Yeah, because they're tiny. And that's not a sexual reference either. Internet, get your minds out of the gutter. That's right, everybody. Suicide prevention is very adult and appropriate.
Definitely, and always sober.
Oh.
Very serious.
This is the last interesting question in the bowl of interesting questions.
Well, that's a shame.
All right. What do you wish that people would say or do when they find out that you're a suicide attempt survivor?
Not this.
Yes.
I would do it again because I forgot to switch the camera. Ah, fuck.
Yeah, this is not a good look.
Yeah, seriously.
Oh, God.
Pretty much, I'd appreciate you effing rock for being a survivor. That's kind of cool.
Good job.
Yeah, nice survival is really, really to be applauded.
Yeah. I actually attempted 8 years ago today, and I posted about it because I post about it every year so that, I mean, it's one way to get people talking about it in a really honest way. And so when you post things like that, you always get the you rock because...
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Oh,
It makes online dating challenging.
So
when one Googles you...
Is that what you want people to say, Leah?
Well, no, I mean, it's just, yeah, I mean, I find, like, I get the warmest reception in, like, the circles that I run in, but, you know, I'm not online dating right now, but if I was online dating right now, yeah, I mean, everyone Googles everyone, you know, and, like, when do you have the suicide attempt survivor conversation? Is it the fourth date? Is it after you move in together? Ooh, when is it? It's definitely not the first date, because I've heard that's not good first. It's not about stigma, it's just about, just a little much for a first date, you know.
Mid-coitus, Leah.
What? Mid-coitus. Oh.
I would say that's a case of coitus interruptus. Let's talk about online dating, though, because Googleable for being a suicide attempt survivor, I was also Googleable for being, like, one of New York's first gay divorcees. So that's up.
So you're saying winner.
I'm saying, oh, God, I can't be in a relationship right now.
I'm just not ready. Not ready.
Commitment. There's no commitment. I don't have the commitments. You have all the commitments.
Can we not use the word commitment, please?
Different context, man.
I'm sorry. I'm going to try to.
Bill Schmitz is watching, and he just said, I can't figure out how to get on, but he's saying hello.
Technologically inept.
That's all right.
So
we'll provide some technical assistance on that.
We haven't even said the F word once, so...
I said the SH word, but is that okay?
You just did.
I know. I said it earlier. You're just not a good listener.
Ah, I'm a great listener.
You really said it earlier?
I did. I've been trying to clean it up a little bit, like to see if I can, because if I like swear all the time, I want to say I could clean it up. I did it for a couple of years, but people didn't like it. That's what I want to be able to say. Nobody really wants a like sober, clean spoken at Doc Foreman. Nobody that I think is fun.
That's true.
Absolutely, and you need to give the people what they want.
Yes.
You're remiss if you not fulfill their needs. Therapeutically.
I did talk to Dr. Schmitz like after that comment. I was like, Bill, like a charity swear off would be awesome. Like I would do this, and he was like you could say things that would really like disturb people, and I'm like Bob Saget on The Aristocrat. You're damn right.
You could go for, I mean, how long could you really go for with a charity swear off with the two of you?
I can go a long time.
We set that at like an hour at least.
Oh, I could swear longer than an hour. Like the swears aren't just foul words. It's like impressionistic paintings of horrific depravity that often has like social justice commentary, but in really inappropriate ways. Like I'm like sure that I can like look at the confidence in my face. Thank you, Internet. Dr. Foreman is broken and mean inside, but it's true. It's true.
So my question is
authentic, right? Yeah. I got it.
My question is, when are we making this happen?
So, everybody, this has been, I think, my favorite on-air SPSM chat with the hashtag WayForwardCrowd. As you go through your weekend, we're going to be tweeting out with the SPSM hashtag all sorts of wonderful videos from folks who are suicide attempt survivors, and they're going to be telling you with their own words what they think that we need to do. And one of the recommendations, like the 48 recommendations, is more pirate hats.
Yes. Yes, absolutely. That's essential to the...
Sorry, I had to do it.
It was time. Thank you for following along. Thank you for watching this. I'm really grateful to, like right down here, my girl Dese'Rae and my other girl, Miss Leah. Thank you so much for giving me an hour of your time tonight.
Oh, well, thank you for having us and for everything you be involved in.
I mean, I was really bored, so...
I could tell.
Dese'Rae is always more facial hair.
Yeah.
You can get that tattooed on, Dese'Rae.
I should. Look at the dog. She looks like she's on my shoulder.
And we're out.